Hello, my name is Steve Craddy, owner of Plant City Bonsai. We are beginning our 28th year here in Claremont, Georgia. I'm very excited because we just arrived back from California with the largest array of the most unusual trees in my career. The room that we're presently in is what we term our hothouse. It's where we regulate the temperature through heating fans and through heating mats. And it's generally used for tropicals and subtropicals, which you can see far in the background. Well, it's also a very useful room for when we arrive back with our California trees, because we get these sent in bare rooted, and so we have to really treat them with tender, loving care, pot them and acclimate them and keep them out of the frost. I'm standing here in front of one of my favorite trees. It was one of my main quests in my buying in California. I had several of these before Christmas and they all sold, so it was tops of my list, and I was so tickled to be able to purchase such a beautiful group. Most of these are done by an artist named Masaishi, Gary Ishii I should say, and they're beautifully compact Olea Europa. Wonderful plant. This is one of the older ones. This right here is a 30 to 40-year-old tree. Notice the beautiful base, the compact foliage, and believe me, they do not grow this way. They grow very much like an azalea shrub, unless they're trained from the beginning. And so, since these are considered specimens, I purchased several ranges of raw material and smaller finished trees. Just gorgeous twiggy little trees. Trying to grow one of these, it's unbelievable how much time it takes. So these are well on their way to becoming specimens, even the smallest ones. Right here we have a group, actually 3 varieties of Cotoneaster. Cotoneaster, perfect for bonsai, small leaves, and they produce some beautiful little berries. These are a semi-deciduous to deciduous plant. They're already putting out their foliage again, so they're already recovering after 2 weeks of just being here for 2 weeks. On this same table, we have tree-form ivies, just a really different plant. We don't see these very often in this area. Behind me, I want to talk about this one first. This is a Japanese apricot. It's called ume, and this is a tree I bought as an experiment. Very large base. It was scary when we dug it because it was so difficult to dig. So if this one does well, then next year we will have a lot more of these to show. Next to it is a group of Corkbark Elms, and these have been field grown for about 15 years. Cut back very hard, very twiggy, amazing plants. Here's one that we actually put into a bonsai pot prematurely because of the lack of finishing, but still very, very cool. This is a Olea Europa. Very unusual. One thing is it's extremely old. It could be 80 to 100 years old. Notice the bark on the tree is almost corky bark all the way to the apex of the tree. And it's just an amazing, amazing feat. You're looking at over a human's lifetime here, developing this tree. Another thing that we love to have is materials for people to do forest. This is called Zelkova or Graybark Elm. I bought about 5 different sizes of the Zelkova. And it's the ones you see in the Japanese coffee table books with the perfect broom style where the branches have all been laid out. Also, they're very good for doing grows. Put 7 of these in a tray. They're twiggy enough to look like you've been working on it for years already. And I have a good selection of these, so call me about these. Next to these, I have kind of I put together just a little group of an assortment. Ginko biloba. We have here a quince that will actually produce a fruit, almost done in the formal upright style. And I have a number of quinces. Quinces are one of my favorite plants for the spring. We're doing this video now. We're about a week to 2 weeks away from many of my quinces to be blooming. And believe me, they bloom for like 4 or 5 weeks, so it's an excellent plant. These are some more of the quinces, and they're already shaped like a tree. Moderately priced. The blooms are spectacular. Before we exit this room, I want to mention a couple of other species that we're acclimating. One is a group of trident maples. These are beautifully branched, and they're perfect. We consider this a Shohin size. Already some usable branches, some too thick, but it's just an amazing start for a specimen, your specimen Shohin trident maple. Another plant that I want to mention is Hokkaido elm. And they are, I guess, the smallest leaved elm in the world. Looks almost like Jurassic Park. Welcome to our glass house. This is the house that saves us each winter. We're able to overwinter all of our trees. It's also the place that I'm storing all the rest of the California trees. This first group is a group of Kishu Shimpaku. I kiddingly say it's our connection with California. They are amazing plants. They're gentlemen trees in miniature. There are some trees here that are only 6 or 7 inches tall that are over 20 years old. And they're just amazing, very easy to care for. And I sort of went crazy in California buying a good group, so we'll have plenty for people to select from. I try to buy the Kishu in the pre-bonsai form. It's actually very close to being a finished bonsai, but the pot hasn't been selected. And I find that a lot of my clients like to put their signature at least at the point of choosing a pot. Gorgeous tree. Less than 6 inches tall. Incredibly perfect branches. Here's an example of one of the larger Kishu Shimpaku. Now this guy here has probably been worked on for over half a century. Just beautiful, beautiful attributes. Great shari. Within 2 or 3 years, it's ready for a bonsai pot. Then we have another Kishu. This is a little different setup. It's what's made the Ishis very famous is their ability to graft. All their trees are grafted. This one is actually branch grafted. You have the trunk of San Jose juniper, and all the pads of foliage are Kishu Shimpaku. Just a brilliant endeavor. From another friend in California, grower for many years, his name is George Miranaka. He has fabulous field-grown red and black pine, and we try to buy some of each. And I think we did an excellent job this year in choosing. Shohin obviously being the quest. This plant is a Pinus thunbergi nishiki, meaning rough bark. One of my favorite plants to use. And these are great for Shohin. In fact, they're very good for Mame. Their trunk character is just unbelievable. It's like their bark explodes. I have some in the smaller size for the Shohin size requirements. Then I was able to purchase a rather large, rather old nishiki. Just beautiful bark. This is obviously a project tree, but you rarely get to even see these trees. There are so few. We're right around the corner from the azalea season with all the beautiful blooms. And I guess you would say this is my little teaser corner of Satsuki azaleas. There's actually some very incredible ones here available. One of my more admired and fun plantings is this metasequoia or dawn redwood forest plantings. The main tree is around 30 years, and it has a very, very natural, you feel like you've been through this forest before. The next group is, there are too many to shoot, so Sebastian is doing a walkthrough of some really gorgeous gift-sized bonsai. And we try to make it where everybody can afford some type of bonsai tree. And there's some very, very nice specimens in here out of my 30-year group. And they've finished Thank you for taking the time to view this video. I hope you're able to come to the nursery soon.